Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for taking time out of your very busy schedule at your respective schools to join us to learn from some of our designees about how to apply and become an exemplary school with our network. Today's panelists are from current designees, Houston High School for the Performing and Visual Arts, Idaho Arts Charter, and Booker T. Washington High School for the Performing and Visual Arts. I'm Christy Calloway, your host and the Executive Director. If this topic interests you and you have other ideas for future webinar topics, let me know so we can pull that together for you and for our membership. Today, a reminder is about exemplary schools. We opened up the application process last week, and we're now excited to be receiving inquiries and interests, and we want to provide this webinar to you today to show you how easy it is to apply for this designation and to provide to you the support that you need to complete your submission. I'm going to turn it over soon to our chair of the Exemplary Practices Program, Dr. Scott Allen, who also is a school designee. Dr. Allen, would you please take over?
Sure. Thank you, Christy. We're glad you guys are here today. I want to tell you a little bit about our school and then also let you hear a little bit about the other two schools that are represented today. HSPVA was founded in 1971. We're in our 42nd year in the Houston Independent School District. And our students spend 3 hours a day in their art area. Our art areas include vocal, instrumental, visual arts, theater, dance, and our newest program, which is creative writing. Our enrollment is completely audition-based, and we currently have just under 700 students. Our school is one of the charter members of Art School Networks, and I know in my time at an art school, networking is so helpful to be able to share with other art school leaders and teachers and learn from one another. So I'm really excited that we're here today to talk to you about exemplary schools and Art School Networks. So I'm going to turn it over now to Scott Roods.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Scott Roods. I am the principal at Booker T. Washington High School for the Performing and Visual Arts in Dallas, Texas. I actually used to be the principal at Orange Grove Middle Magnet School of the Arts in Tampa. Both of our schools have received the Exemplary Schools designation from the Art Schools Network. So I've had an opportunity to be part of two schools that have gone through this process. At my previous school, it was a lottery-based middle school, which represented the 4 major arts areas. I am now at Booker T, which is very similar to Houston. It is also a charter member of the Art Schools Network and has 4 major clusters: music, dance, visual arts, and theater.
So Jackie Collins is also with us today. So Jackie, why don't you tell us a little bit about you and your school?
Hi, I'm Jackie Collins, and I am the principal of Idaho Arts Charter School. We have been in existence for 9 years. We are an arts integrated charter school K-12. It is a lottery-only school, so students apply, and it's kind of just luck of the draw whether they get in or not. Obviously, having an interest in the arts, we focus on the 4 art areas of dance, drama, visual arts, and music. I lost my thought there for a minute. And we do have, though, a creative writing program and a piano program also. And I think that's about all about our school. We applied for this a couple years ago and are up to renew this next coming year.
Great. So Jackie and Scott, thank you for being here today, and just feel free to jump in at any time. You guys have been through the application process, and so you bring a lot to the table.
I want to remind folks, yes, thank you so much. And the fact that you're also going through renewals and that Scott Roods has the range of middle through high school, it's great to have all 3 of you. The slide you're looking at now shows you a chat box that really should be a question, and we want you to submit questions to our panelists here. Ask them anything. They range from public, private, charter, K through 12. So it's a great spread, and I'm going to go ahead and turn this back over to Scott, but please know that I'm monitoring the question box, and we'll make sure your question's asked and answered. Go ahead, Scott Allen, Dr.
All
Allen.
right. So Exemplary Schools with Art School Network. Really, we're just looking at principles of exemplary practice, and we know that there are some great things going on in art schools across the country, and so the exemplary school designation is a way to recognize those schools, hopefully to bring some accolades from their community, but also to just show the country what great things are happening in arts education. And so the application is the first step, and we've made some changes, and we're going to talk through those today with you, so hopefully the journey is clear to you. The designation itself just indicates that there's been a reflection process, and you can see there on your screen. Basically, we're hoping that the school completes a self-evaluation where they're able to look at the strengths, areas of improvement, consistency with the school-wide or program on the campus, and also ask itself questions, you know, where are they going, what are your strategic goals, and future challenges of the school. And so we're hopeful that the application that we have put together will help guide that reflection process. So looking at our next slide.
So fast. Hold on. Let's go back to the reflection process. If I may, and ask you, like, each one of you to kind of speak to when you went through that. What was the result of it? For example, some folks were able to write a grant afterwards, or to apply for other awards, or to apply for financial. So what is it that came out about for each one of your schools?
Well, I'm going to go ahead and start, and I can speak specifically when we went through this. At Orange Grove, it really provided an initial opportunity for the faculty to be very reflective. And not only that, but to really dig down deep into some of the standards and what other art schools were doing. And so to Scott's point about making sure that, you know, we had a good idea of where our strengths were and where our areas for growth were, that was the big takeaway that we had from going through the process. Following that, we were able to kind of publish our findings. Once we had gotten the distinction, we were able to share those with other schools, and we actually had a K-12 process in place in my previous district where all of the schools were able to benefit from that reflection and kind of just raise the level of standards and performances at all the schools.
Christy, this is Jackie. One thing that was, I think, really beneficial for us was to, kind of like Scott said, to dig deep, but to start to document all the things that we've done, you know, places that teachers have, you know, conferences and so forth that they have attended, artists that we've had in, grants that we've won, and then, you know, not only applying for this award, but then we used it for a couple other awards that we were able to apply for, and so, you know, it was just really beneficial. And then just even recently, we're looking at a different charter authorizer, and so, you know, we went to the College of Idaho to talk to them about being our authorizer in our state, and again took that document with us and presented it to them, and left it with them so that they could see these are the things that the school has done, these are the awards, these are the accomplished artists that they've had in this, these are the accomplishments that their teachers have done. So, you know, it's beneficial. It is a lot of work, but it's very beneficial.
Well, and I would, go ahead, Jackie.
This is Jan. I also think it's it kind of lights us on fire to also encourage us to even do more. So the next time we could add to our list. And so to see what we've done in the past also just is such encouragement for the future.
I like that. This is Christy, and I appreciate that you guys said that. I want to remind you also that where you identified weaknesses or say places you want to improve, we do not evaluate that against you. We recognize that you recognize it, and we actually give you, that's part of the endorsement, is that you're reflective. Let's go ahead, Dr. Allen.
Well, I was just going to say that whenever we first applied the first round of exemplary school designations was right after I had come to HSPVA, and so going through that process really helped me to learn, along with my staff, you know, what was happening in the school, why we were doing what we were doing, and then 2 years later, when we applied for the renewal, it actually drove us to rewrite our mission statement. So I just feel like that it really is valuable if all stakeholders are included in this reflection process. so so looking at the application itself, or actually we can go back to that one slide. Schools that do get the exemplary status, there are several things that each school gets. First of all, there's recognition on the Art School Network website, and your school would be spotlighted on the website. There's a printed certificate and also a news release that's sent your way so that you can share that with the media outlets in your area. We send you the electronic ASN Exemplary School logo so that you can add that to your website showing that you're an exemplary school. And then again, Christy on a regular basis features the exemplary schools in Art School Network e-news and e-blast. So it really is a way to get your school's name out there and kind of show off and brag a little bit of the great things that your students and teachers are doing on your campus. And so just the housekeeping things here, in order to achieve and get the status, you do have to be in good standing, which just means that you're currently a member and that your dues are paid. The designation is good for 2 years, and then there's a renewal process. There is a $200 application fee, and that covers those first 2 years. And then after 2 years, we notify you that you're up for renewal. And there is a process very similar to the application process the first time. It's just a little shorter, and it just asks you to kind of reflect on where you are now compared to where you were 2 years ago whenever you first did the application. So that the hardest part is doing this first application process. And so in order to apply, everything is on the website now, and we're using Accepted to do that. And so we're gonna show you in just a few minutes what that looks like on the website with some screenshots. But really, what you're asked to submit are the following documents. And I think we have 3 slides of this. So if you'll be patient, we'll go through these. And then if anyone has questions, or if Scott or Jackie or Janice have things to add, we can do that. We need a brief description of your school program, and we ask that not exceed 300 words. The school mission and goal statement, and you're allowed 1 page to state those things. We ask for a school organizational chart, again limited to 1 page. We need a list of your current school personnel by title and or teaching assignment. And then if you have links to your course catalogs, your school schedules, student handbooks, anything that you think really gives us a real picture of what's happening on your campus that would make you an exemplary school. And then moving forward to that second slide. We ask for a brief narrative describing how your school meets the principles of exemplary practice. That's the biggest part of the application, and you're limited to 4 type double-spaced pages for that. And if by chance your school has earned the ACPAS accreditation, this little section doesn't have to be submitted. You just show us that you did earn that, and you're exempt from this section. We're asking for a brief history of your school data and highlights, and we've listed some things there: the year it was open, any milestones, just things that you think are important in the history of your school. And again, we give you 1 page to list those things for us. And we asked you just to kind of look at what's happening on your campus and talk to us about what you think are the factors that played a critical role in this success. And that could be financial, the structure, just really looking at what you think makes things work on your campus that results in things.
This is a great place I want to jump in because those examples could come from you guys right now. So each one of you, I know a lot about your schools, but the audience does not. And when you submitted examples of successes or longitudinal milestones, could you each just address that briefly about your each 3 applications? What kind of information? For example, I know that Idaho's an arts charter that expanded to be all 12 grades, and Booker T just went through major renovations, and Houston High School is about to go through major rebuilding a new campus. Those are big news, and we'd love to hear about that stuff. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
This is Jan. At our school, we have celebrated quite a few wonderful milestones that we were able to put on the application. Of course, we moved from our building that we had just trailers for part of our classes into an old building that we renovated and then added onto a couple different times. So those are a few little building kinds of things. But also we've celebrated the idea of adding a guitar class or jazz band classes for our students to be able to have more experiences. So those are the kinds of things that we put in the application to begin with, and we have more to add to this next time when we renew.
Well, and I was going to also comment about the fact that we were able to talk both at Booker T and Orange Grove about just the history of the schools. I mean, we have actually somewhat similar histories. Orange Grove was founded in 1926. Booker T was founded in 1922. We were able to kind of chronicle the school's existence and then their transformation into arts magnet schools. And then we're also, this is a great section, like Scott Allen was mentioning, about ACPAS. We haven't achieved ACPAS accreditation, but it's a good step to go through to identify those milestones, those achievements in preparation for potential ACPAS accreditation.
And I think that whenever you talk about factors that play into the success of the school, we were one of the first art magnet schools in the country, and our district takes great pride in that. And I think that that's one thing that's really allowed us to be successful, is just their continued financial support of what happens on our campus. Christy mentioned that we're in the process of designing and planning for a new building, which will open in 2017. And the bond issue itself was huge, but the fact that $80 million was set aside for a new school in downtown Houston in the Arts District. Again, I think it just goes to show that there's district support. And in a district with over 325 schools, for them to feel like that we're special and the things that we're doing with kids is important, that to me is a huge factor of our success. Okay, so this last page of information that we asked for, we asked you to list some notable alum and the year of graduation if possible, and your school may or may not have students and people to add to this list. And again, it's not held against you. We want to give schools a chance to brag on their successes, and this is a place that you could do that. We also asked for outstanding student and school achievements that demonstrate quality arts instruction and preparation. We also asked for a copy of the school logo, and just so you know, all of the things that we're asking for here, this is the information we use when we highlight you on the website, and when we do the e-blast or the e-news and include information about your school. And so the school logo is always used with that. If for some reason you don't have a logo, you can always submit a photograph that you feel like represents your school. And then finally, any web links to documentation that again, you feel like supports the areas that we've asked you to reflect and comment on, showing that you're an exemplary school. So running through the timeline just very quickly, the application deadline is March 15th. So all documents have to be submitted through accepted by that March 15th deadline. And then there's a month there where our review committee from best practices will have a chance to review all the applications and the documents that are submitted. And then the recommendation for designations will be made to the board by April 15th, and the board will approve those by April 25th. We'll notify all the applicants of their status by May 15th, and then the exciting part is that bronze medallions will be presented at the annual conference in December and in Denver, and this year that's October 22nd through 25th. So it just kind of gives you a snapshot of the process.
Fantastic. I want to go back to the last slide quickly and then forward. On this slide where it says notable alumni, and you mentioned maybe that's not possible, but if it is, and even if they're notable to you, remember all alum are great alum. And so if you just have a first-year graduating group or a second-year graduating group, or maybe you're not a graduating institution, maybe you're a middle school, you still are tracking your kids, and they do have a path of success. And so don't overthink that if you think that you do not have alumni that are on TV shows and Broadway. Okay, so now let's get over to the nuts and bolts of how to apply. You've done a great job with the examples, and then this is what the portal looks like. If you guys didn't want to elaborate any more on the earlier part, I could go ahead and be prompted through this portion.
That sounds great, Christy.
Okay, do you want me to run it?
Sure.
Okay, so as you apply, you're going to go to our website, and you're going to click on Register Your School. You will then be magically whisked over to our portal through Get Accepted, and there you will select the drop-down menu, choose a program, which will then be the Exemplary School, of course, online, and you can get started at any time. You can save at any time, and you can return at any time, so it's a wonderful online service. When you log in, you can log in through Facebook, or you can create a brand new account, or maybe you have an existing account. Many of our schools do have accounts with Accepted because they're matriculating students to secondary institutions. This page is where I want Scott, Dr. Allen, to elaborate a little bit, and then you guys could talk to those. And this is where you upload those individual documents, those pieces that we mentioned earlier. So for example, this page right here, if it were to be able to scroll down, but since it's a static image, each item that we expect you to upload that we gave you an outline of should be no longer than one page or should be no longer than those limitations. You're going to be forced to upload those with those truncated sizes through these buttons, and it's just like attaching a paper clip in an email, similar, and then you would scroll on, make a payment, and submit. Again, you don't have to submit immediately. You can go back and rework your application. Scott, would you like to go back and maybe address anything here?
Christy, click forward one, please.
Okay.
Actually, to go again, sorry. Once you get into the section where you're actually able to submit the documents one at a time, click one further, Christy. Okay, so towards the bottom, you can see there that it gives you the chance to upload the signature page. So, and then the next one you see upload brief description of school program. So if you were to scroll down, which we don't have it on the screenshot, but if you were to scroll down, you would see a chance to choose each of those documents that we went through earlier. And when you go to our website, you're able to pull up a PDF of the application, and so it really does tell you exactly what we're looking for each of the documents that you're submitting. But like Christy said, you can upload a document and save. You can go back. I think one thing that's really important to remember is almost everything that we ask you to submit you already have on your campus. It's just a matter of gathering and putting everything together. And I don't know if Jackie or Jan or Scott wanted to talk more about that, but really, other than the 4-page narrative, you probably have everything we're asking for somewhere in your office or in your building, and it's a matter of finding it to submit it. Did you guys want to say anything else about that?
This is Scott Roots. I just want to kind of underscore what you just said. It really was just a process of gathering the materials. I mean, it wasn't anything that we had to create, or it was just a matter of putting the materials together and wordsmithing. And like I said, it was a good process of self-discovery for our schools, and we didn't have to spend too much time gathering materials.
Right.
Yeah, we feel the same way. It was just gathering information from different sources, which was, like you said, wordsmithing is a good way to put it. I like that.
Well, and I would also say to anyone who's considering applying that it's really important to know that we're here to help and support. So if you're struggling with a document or you're not sure about something, you can get in touch with Christy or myself, and then later we'll have our contact information for you. But it's very much a collaboration. So if you're struggling or you're feeling like you need some help, that's why we're here is to help you through the process, and hopefully we can make it easy for you.
That's right. I've put this up for you, and you can now see the email or the phone numbers there. You could also go to our website for more information. we're happy to stay online for a few seconds and answer some questions. The first one was about can they start the application and not submit it? Yes, you can save along the way and come back to it and submit at the deadline date, March 15th. The next one was a question regarding bandwidth and internal committees and how strong is the application and how are we able to see that. Well, that would all be reflected in your narrative and the items you submit. Our adjudicators are going to all be able to log in and if you provide links to video and things you want them to see, they're going to be able to view that, so you're painting that picture for us. And yes, we'd love to hear about how this is going to help improve you by just going through the journey. In the arts, often that's where all of the learning happens, is in the making and not in the ending. So without any other questions flowing in, are there any closing comments or words of encouragement that you, oh, we have some more questions. Here we go. Should we discuss academic achievements extensively or focus only on the arts? I'm going to let you guys all take a turn at that. Great question. Should we discuss academic achievements extensively or focus on only the arts?
I think that whenever you're doing the overview of what's happening on your campus, I think that it would be important to list academic achievements and whether that's in your strengths that you're blowing the roof off in the academics, or if it's an area that needs improvement. I think that you should paint the picture of what it truly is. The current rubric and what we're looking at is more artistic achievement, but I would encourage you to be honest and include that information. But I have never seen a school not be designated exemplary because of academic achievement or progress.
I would have to say that one of the things that we highlighted was about arts integration, about the way that we were able to infuse arts within the academic environment and then vice versa. And so that was something that we were successful in highlighting.
I think it's both. I mean, I think you need to mention, if you've got high academics and that's been something that's been really successful at your school, you should mention it.
And I think it's important to remember that everybody comes to the table with a different history and a different set of circumstances, especially when you look at the levels of elementary, middle, and high school. And you may be performing very average at this point, but you may have come from a place that you weren't being successful. So, just, again, reflecting and looking at where are you, where have you been, and where are you hoping to go.
I like that the more honest you are, it really is easier to use this document for lots of other things, and I like to call them asks. And it doesn't really matter what the ask is, but it could be for finances, it could be for a new teacher, it could be for outreach. You use this as your own self-case study to make a plea for a case you want support for. And again, we're happy to review these things for you, and we're also happy beyond this work to come and be an expert in your community if you are needing an advocate, someone who's been there and done that. All three of these leaders on this call, including Jan, we have a cadre to loan out to you, and so don't think that the support stops after the webinar or after an email. We really could think a lot bigger. And we hope that you're going to join us in Denver when we hope you've earned your designation and we could recognize you at the annual conference where your peers will all clap and applaud as you walk across that stage. And we do that for our members. All of this is for you, and everything that you do is for all of our students. And so we thank you for taking time out of your busy day today to help us. And we wish you the best in your endeavors, and we're here just a phone, email, or wisp away. Thank you, Jackie Collins, Janice Jorgensen from Idaho Arts Charter.
Thanks, Christy. Thank you.
And thank you, Dr. Allen from Houston and Dr. Roods from Dallas.
Thank you, Christy.
You're quite welcome. Thank you, Christy.
And thank you to our quiet hero who's providing tech support, Gary Ringler, behind the scenes. Everyone go off and continue to do great things, and we'll see you here again soon. Goodbye.
Goodbye.